Happy Carbon Tax Day. Happy Carbon Tax Day. I know it's April Fool's, April 1st, the date that I put in every single website that asked me my birthday. I put April 1st, 1976, even though I'm born a few years later than that. I always put April 1st. Why? Because fool on me, well, fool on you. You ain't going to get my date of birth, I'll tell you that much. Well, fool's on us because today is Carbon Tax Increase Day. That's right. Every year from now until 2030, we will be getting carbon tax increases in our gasoline prices, among other things, of course. Well, let's look at gasoline prices. And also, don't forget that today is also the day that MPs, that's right, MPs get pay bumps. Let's take a look. All right, right over here, we got the Western Standard MP raises set for the same day Canadians see hike in carbon tax. Fantastic. That's right. Carbon tax day for us, pay increase day for them. I think that's really fair. You tell me. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Let's see here. Western Standard MP pay raises set for the same day. Canadians see hike in carbon tax. While Canadians dread the looming increase in carbon tax on April 1st, members of Parliament will celebrate their third pay increase during the pandemic. As of April 1st, it's estimated senators and backbench MPs will see a 10,802 increase to 164,702 and 189,702 respectively. Ministers will also see an increase, and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will see a pay hike rise of $21,000 all the way up to $379,000. Wow, just shy of $400K. Now that's a nice job if you could swing it, right? You could tax us and increase your pay. I would love to be in a position where I could just increase my own pay. That's a great position to be in, I gotta say. Now, having said all that, of course, inflation is at record levels in the U.S. and in Canada. Here we are at 5.7%. These are reported numbers. A lot of people say that they're a lot higher than that, but let's just go with the reported numbers. So inflation's going up. Let's throw in a little bit more price at the gas pump. Let's collect that money. Let's collect that money, possibly to give some of that back to you. There's a program. We'll look at that in all fairness. Let's see what that's about. But at the same time, you tell me, has anyone ever taken money off you and then given you more? That's not really how it usually works. We've got an Ipsos poll over here, and let's take a look at what Canadians are thinking. All right, this is from March 31st, so yesterday. Okay, so number one, 53% of people say they want more help with the soaring cost of everyday needs due to inflation. Yeah, I would think so. Prices going up and up and up. Bacon is expensive. Even hot dogs are expensive, believe it or not. I don't know. I was buying a couple packs for my kids recently because I stopped going to a local place, fast food place over here. They didn't let my kid in with his mask exemption, 6 years old, and they refused to serve us even though I just wanted to do takeout. And I'm not giving any money to the places that didn't service us during this pandemic, right? Lowering taxes, 45%. Yes, please. Can you lower my taxes? Greater investment in healthcare. I personally don't really want more money put into the health system because I see so much waste, and I think that system needs something else. Something else needs to happen there. I don't think throwing more money into healthcare really works. And all the way at the bottom, investing in Canada's armed forces and defense. Did you know, I found this out recently, that Canada had the biggest or second biggest navy in the world? I think it was in World War II. We had a huge navy over here. My father actually used to go and work down over there and go down to Halifax to work at the Navy testing facility. They got some kind of large testing center. Anyhow, that's another topic entirely. But yeah, now number 11% of people want to put more money into the armed forces, and of course our defense budget. Recently, the defense minister came out and said, "Hey, we have nothing. We've given everything away. We got nothing left. We literally have zero." And I'm paraphrasing, but that was pretty much what she said. All right, now this is from just a couple months back, December. Let's see here. So this is CBC, of course, CBC. Trudeau said that just as Canadians have relied on scientists to help the country out of the COVID-19 pandemic, they must also heed their advice on the threat of climate change. He said, "Science isn't a pick and choose buffet. If we trust scientists with our health, as we do, then we must also trust their research and their expertise when it comes to other existential threats, and that includes climate change," he said. "There is no vaccine against a polluted planet. It's up to us to act because there's a real cost to pollution." You like my Trudeau? I'm practicing. Do I have the vapid look? I'm trying to go for the vapid look in my eyes and like. All right, now in all fairness, there's also supposedly going to be some of that money coming back. Now, I don't understand how this makes sense. So you increase, okay, the price per ton. All right, so you increase that, and then we have to pay the government the tax at the pump. All right, and I'll show you some charts about how high that goes up until 2030. It's crazy numbers. It goes all the way to 40 cents in 2030, okay, per liter. And then supposedly quarterly now, and this has changed, the CAIP, Climate Action Incentive Payment, they're going to send you this now quarterly. Okay, it's not a tax credit. They were thinking about it, or they changed it up. It's a quarterly benefit. We're going to get checks in the mail as long as you file taxes. And you're going to get a CAIP payment. So how does that make sense? I don't get it, right? And the first one's scheduled for April, mid-April. I think it's April 15th, and we're April 1st, of course, April Fool's today. So take money from me at the pump and then give me money back quarterly? I don't get it. What am I missing here? Because it feels like thievery to me, okay? You say, I'm going to take this off you now, but I swear I'm going to give you more later, or I'm going to give you the same back later. Where's the logic in this? Was I born yesterday? Of course, our buddies at the WEF. Yes, that's right, the World Economic Forum, addressing climate change through carbon taxes. They're big fans of BC. A notable example is the implementation of a carbon tax in the Canadian province of British Columbia since 2008, which has been celebrated globally as a textbook example of carbon taxation in a sub-state actor, as it covers approximately 70% of provincial greenhouse gas emissions. The even-handed coverage of the purchase and use of fossil fuels. Of course, they had Bonnie Henry, so they're doing a lot of good things for the World Economic Foundation. They are 100%. Generally, the British Columbian carbon tax policy has been successful in significantly reducing the level of greenhouse gas emissions in the province without compromising economic growth and development. You got all that. You know what's happening over here. It's April 1st. It's not April Fool's, though. This is actually happening. You are being taxed more at the pump now. You're going to see prices increase today if you haven't already filled up. I haven't. I sent my kids to the grocery store on their bicycles because I said, you know what? Listen, I'm not going. I'm not spending. I'm not burning any more gasoline. You're going to bicycle over there. And you're going to go pick up some eggs. Thank you very much, children. And now let's take a look over here. You got China, U.S., India, Russia, Japan, Germany, Iran, Saudi Arabia, South Korea, and then you got Canada. China, 29%. 29% of all annual CO2 emissions are coming from China. Do you really think China's going to change? I want to know, is anybody pricing their carbon? Is China going to change? The rest of the world, 21%. Second of all, you got United States, and then you got India. You think India's going to change? I've been there before. I was 27 years old the first time I went to India. There were flyover constructions everywhere, tons of construction because they're trying to modernize. They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop burning any kind of fossil fuels. In fact, it's kind of gross, but when you actually blow your nose, okay, in a white handkerchief over there, it comes out, there's soot. It's like, you know how you hear about Britain in the industrial age, when they were industrializing in those 1800s? It's like that. It's like it's industrializing. It's coal. It's let's industrialize. Let's feed our people. And they're growing amazing, but they're not going to quit. I hate to say it, that's my personal opinion. China, India, especially those two countries, they're not going to quit. Russia, okay, fourth on the list. And then Japan. I thought Japan's pretty small, but they're pretty high up in CO2 emissions. And then Germany. Germany's having a big problem, by the way. 49% of their fuel that they're pulling in, their natural gas specifically, is coming out of Russia. And Russia now demands to be paid in rubles, and rubles is now being backed in gold, 5,000 rubles to a 1 gram of gold. And they're saying, you know what, we want to be paid by unfriendly countries in rubles or gold. So that's interesting right there. What does that mean? Does that mean I'm hearing things on the internet? People are talking about remonetization backed by precious metals, and then of course the demonetization or the reducial of the U.S. dollar as a reserve currency, as a trading currency internationally. So you let me know in the comment section. I'm not an economist. I just read the internet and try to make sense of the world so I can protect my family's wealth. the money that I put together so that when I am finally dead and gone, my wife can live for a little bit, you know what, just relaxed, and my children can have some kind of inheritance. That's what I want to do. Okay, I got really simple plans. I'm not planning on buying a motorcycle or a nicer car or anything else. I just want to conserve what I got, and I want to keep the freedom that my children have. The freedom that I had growing up in Canada, I want my kids to have that too. So, hey, all right. Taxpayer Magazine. If you don't know Taxpayer Magazine, fantastic. Check that out. They put out an annual gas tax honesty report, looks like every year, 23rd annual gas tax report. And this is really interesting. Okay, so you can see that there's been some places that have already instituted the carbon tax before Ontario and Alberta. For example, you have British Columbia there, who the WEF actually said, hey, they're doing such a great job on this, right? They're really bringing it, the Great Reset, we're doing it. So current carbon taxes you see per ton in BC are $45 per ton, and that equivalent is at 10 cents per liter on the gas. Okay, so when you go to fill up, and you got to Quebec next in place at, well, actually it's not in order, so that's 5 cents. New Brunswick at almost 9 cents, going down, right? And so as the price per ton goes up, you're going to be paying more, you know, just when you fill up. So if you look over here, right here we are, okay, I'm looking closely here. 2022, we're paying $50 carbon price per ton today, which means 11 cents more. Okay, is that correct? I don't know. That's a total, I guess. Carbon tax on gasoline is now going to be 11 cents. Wow, okay. So it's going up by, that's right, it's going up by 2 cents from 9 cents to 11 cents. So we're paying now going to be paying 11 cents on carbon tax on gasoline. And by 2030, it's going to be 40 cents when the carbon price per ton is $170. So 40 cents, 2030. And I don't know about you, but I find as I get older, years go quicker. Okay, I'm looking at 2022, that's right now. 2018 feels like yesterday. 2015 feels like the day before that. And now 2030 is a hop, jump, and a skip away. And you're telling me I'm going to be paying 40 cents at that point at the pump? So what's it going to be per liter? Am I paying $3? You got inflation and everything else happening. Will I be paying $3 per liter? I think that's not out of the realm of possibility. It could be higher, maybe $4. All I know is I'm buying a chest freezer, and I'm going to buy some meat on sale. I'm really shopping the bargains right now. I got 5 kids I got to feed. I'm looking. Chicken was on sale this week. Don't ask me how, because they're talking about all kinds of things in the world. But that's what I bought. That's what was available, and my kids have been eating chicken fingers. You know what I mean? Chicken tendies. Why? Because chicken tendies is the breakfast of champions, as everybody knows. Okay, this is interesting. Tax on tax. I had no idea about this, but it turns out that every time you buy gasoline, you're charged tax on tax. The government calculates the sales taxes after all the per liter taxes are added. That means you pay taxes on all per liter taxes. The government just adds the price. That costs the average Canadian driver an extra 3.3 cents per liter. Something really interesting, and that's also, I noticed this, you know, with those Interact machines, and they like kind of pre-compute the tip. And they say, okay, so what happens is that you see the numbers there, and then they add in the tax, and then they put the tip percentage on that total. That's what I'm pretty sure is happening there. Now, I'm not 100%. I haven't done full, but it looks like it from when I'm standing there and I'm looking at these numbers, and I'm like, this seems like a percentage calculated off the total, including tax, and that becomes a tip on top of a taxed tax or something like that, and that's what we're getting here at the pump. And just to round it all out, on April 1st, April Fool's Day, there's an article here that caught my eye when I was perusing CBC just for the lulz. Modern ideas about freedom emerged from an anti-democratic backlash, says historian. Annalene de Degen says freedom as limited government emerged to defend the interests of privileged elites. De Degen says she's noticed many people become uneasy with how the concept of freedom has been defined by protesters opposing lockdowns and other restrictions, and argues this could be a moment to reopen some of the debates about freedom that were shut down by the Cold War. We have started questioning, do we really want freedom just to mean to be able to do whatever you want as an individual? You let me know, what do you think freedom means? CBC openly questioning, putting in editorials and opinion pieces about what is freedom, and do we really want and know what freedom is? Do we really want it? Is it about an individual's right? Having said all that, and thank you so much on April Fool's Day. This is not an April Fool's message. This is a message of support. If you'd be so kind, please, brethren, take a look at BULLETMAKER and Vestige. You can see those right over here. Post-Apocalyptic, Pre-Armageddon, Action, Fantasy. That's BULLETMAKER. And Vestige, this is Vestige 1 right here. This is the Black Dragon edition. You can take a look at that. Look at that. It's really cool. That's real metal. And we're going to be launching Vestige 2. Sorry, Vestige 2 is already out. Vestige 3 is launching. We're really getting up to there are going to be 8 volumes in this series, so that's going to be amazing. I can't wait for this. Let me show you a little bit of Vestige over here. So I don't think I don't really usually go into all this, but here you can take a look at some of that fantastic artwork. Eh? Very cool stuff. This is how comics used to be before becoming woke. Okay, it's like actual action and actual fantasy and just cool, you know, like really moving along in there. Not just, I mean, these days you'd be surprised, but comic books, they sit and discuss what they ate last night. It's really weird. Okay, no wonder kids don't like it and they all read Japanese comics these days. And that to me is really a travesty because I grew up reading American comics. And of course, take a look at that right there at the back. That looks pretty cool, huh? War campaign at the back. Very neat. Anyhow, there it is, brethren. Really appreciate your time. I have actually launched today a new business. I've got my own consulting company. I've decided that's it. I'm not going to be working 9 to 5 as an employee any longer. I don't want to be canceled. I want to be... I've really had enough after this last one where I pretty much got fired in all but words for attending a freedom protest. That's the last time that I'm going to put myself in that situation. I want to say a big thank you and a big hail, okay, and praise Providence to everybody out there who's helped me so much, giving me some work and tips and everything else. And I'd love it if you continue this journey with me. I'm going to be launching a channel called CodeGladius. That's right. That's the name of this new company that I've incorporated today. CodeGladius. That's right, Gladius like the Roman sword. Code because I'm a programmer and I'm going to be writing code. So there it is, and I really appreciate everybody's help, and thank you, truly, brethren. Thank you, and be sure to sign up over here, wcfreedom.com, to keep up to date with what we're doing here at the War Campaign. Thank you, and hail, brethren, and happy April Fools.